movie podcast where Sean
and Mampy
watch it, talk shit, and most importantly, eat it.
We are the law.
And guess what we saw?
A complete unknown. Just trying out some alternative voices.
You doing the scientist voice?
By my calculations.
By my calculations, this should be a G chord.
Ooh, how many G chords have you ever played in your life?
The times they are changing.
How many times are these times gonna change?
I've been checking it. It doesn't seem like the times keep on changing.
Keep changing like this.
We watched The Complete Unknown, directed by that guy who directs these movies. Oh, what the fuck is his name? I bet you know, right?
I bet that not only do I know, but also IMDb.com knows.
They know?
James?
You know, it's the guy, he did like Ford versus Ferrari and the other, he did the Johnny Cash one and...
James Mangold.
Yes.
James Mangold.
And according to some, the unadulterated masterpiece, Logan.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's fun.
Some people think it's a masterpiece.
It's got blades.
It does have blades, but it doesn't have blade.
It doesn't have blade, which that was my main complaint about this movie as well. It was like, all right, when are they going to get to the vampire, the daywalker? I'm more interested in that than this guy making songs about going down the country street, you know? Just like...
I come from Minnesota, but I was in a circus, but I was lying about the circus.
I was never in a circus.
So, in A Complete Unknown, directed by James Mangold, this is what happens.
Tell me.
Have you heard of Bob Dylan?
Once or twice.
Here's what happened in his life. He was a young man. He moved to the big city.
The big apple.
He instantly met Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger, the two kind of elder statesmen of folk music at that time. At least the white elder statesmen of folk music. I mean, I guess, but, you know.
Yeah.
There was Lead Belly, and there were other kind of black dudes playing folk music, but folk is kind of white people playing sort of their, like, less bluesy version of the blues.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe.
Because they don't have as many blues. I don't know if you knew this. They have little less
I don't have any blues. I love going to work.
Yeah. It's great.
So he goes to the big city, he meets the big stars, and he instantly becomes a famous person. And then that's it. He's a kind of a dickhead. And I won't spoil it, but something crazy happens at the end.
Some really wild stuff.
What did you think about this movie?
I gotta be real.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay it down like this. I said it in the group text. Every time I see a biopic about a musician, I leave liking them less, and that happened again.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I don't care about Bob Dylan in the first place. Like, yeah. I see his importance in the culture.
Sure.
And I like a lot of the things that happened as a result of him. Like, I love the band. I love the fact that the Beatles did acoustic songs.
Yeah,
kind of like,
that's nice.
We're the Beatles. We come from England. But when I hear him sing, I go, this is not for me.
Yeah, it's not moving me.
This is like a similar reason to why I don't get into bands like Pavement or like bands where it seems like they're like either not trying very hard or trying too hard to sound like they're not trying hard.
Yeah.
Or something where it's just like, yeah, I can sing the songs. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, man. And then other motherfucker comes up and he's like, hey, I'm singing a song. And you're like, wow. That guy planned it out. He's been practicing. He sounds like a singer. Beautiful.
He's singing a song. You are making sounds, but I don't know if it's a song.
And now there won't be any spoilers in the movie for anybody who knows about significant events in rock and roll history.
Yes.
But in the unlikely event that you don't know about significant events in rock history, I won't tell you about this until after the spoiler, but I'll say, I think if you like Walk Hard...
Yeah.
Not Walk Hard, wait.
Walk the Line.
Is Walk Hard? Walk the Line, that's what it is. Walk the Line. If you like Walk the Line, if you like the Aretha Franklin thing, if you like that weird NWA thing, where, like, these things that happen that are just so stupid that they couldn't possibly happen that way, where, like, within 3 seconds, people have written the most famous song of all time.
Exactly.
It's like, this is not how things happen in the real world, obviously. But if you don't mind that sort of, I guess, magical realism, or I don't know what the hell it is. But if you don't mind that, you might enjoy it. If you like Walk the Line, you'll love this movie. Because it's sort of a similar thing. It's like a slightly romanticized version
very much
of
so.
the life of a thing, and it's condensed into 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. And it's, I mean, most of the important events of their early life. I guess that's it. Walk the Line doesn't get into when he's old and dying, right?
I don't remember. I mean, they get into when he's a little older, but I don't know if they go into... Yeah, I don't think they went...
It's kind of like, these are the moments when they're the most famous.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
you want to watch a documentary about that? Well, if you want to do that, go do that instead, because it'll probably be much better.
And more accurate.
Yes.
Definitely. I heard
But if you want the feel...
You'll get it.
Of history.
I mean,
feel.
It's definitely got a feel. There's a feeling. Feelings are happening in the movie.
Yes.
So that's good.
So did you like it at all? Or did you did you like the movie at all, even though you disliked Bob more?
I think I liked moments of it, but it just overall... I think what you're going at with, like, it's just like the mythologizing gets a little old sometimes, or like turning someone into like a grandiose, which she did great things and is big, but like it just starts to get a little like, okay, we get it now. Oh yeah, you just sat down and started singing that. Okay. Oh, you're doing it again. Okay.
Doing it again.
Now you're doing it again.
That's just the way he writes.
Yeah, that's it.
He just instantly knows all the chords and all the words.
And the whole just like...
It's a good deal.
Hey, a family's sitting here having breakfast. Let me just pull out this guitar and start whipping out a tune. It's like, we just want to eat breakfast, okay?
Yeah.
That's all we want.
Yeah.
Eggs in the pan and the waffles on the stove. It's just like, all right, we know we're eating the eggs and the waffles.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to spoil from now on.
Wait, what'd you think, though?
It's weird because, like, if I can divorce myself from disgust, it's like... Or something, like, if I can turn off my bullshit meter, which mostly I can, usually in movies I can, but when it's, like, so much bullshit so often, when it is literally, like, every 7 minutes he writes one of his most famous songs.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Easily. And, like, there's no trouble. He just instantly is a famous person.
Which
he,
is
meets
so funny.
another famous person, and truly that is how it happens for some people.
Yeah,
and maybe that was how it happened for him. And also the fact that, like, you know, I don't know, 10 years of his life are truncated into 2.5 hours makes it feel that way. But it is just like, oh wow, he just keeps doing the most famous thing that a musical artist has ever done.
Yeah,
every 10 minutes.
Because I was like, oh, the movie will be mostly about him before he got recognized. Yeah. But then it was pretty quickly like, oh, no, he's Bob Dylan now. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he isn't a complete unknown for long.
No. He's very briefly a complete unknown. Let's spoil it.
Let's spoil it. Get into the spoilers.
Let's talk about our favorite parts of the movie first.
Okay.
I don't think any of those will be spoilers, but maybe they will. What's your beef lamb gyro? I've been taking a few months off of beef like you.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm still gonna eat the metaphorical beef lamb.
Yes, it isn't real beef, and that's why I always consume it. I would have to say my beef lamuro of this movie was the big finale, the rock and roll meets folk clash. I just was sitting there having a hoot and a holler, and I was like, people were that upset? What a dumb thing to be upset about.
It's really weird. It's really weird. I will talk about that later.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I was like, I mean, this is fascinating that people used to get riled up over this. Like, this is
people were freaked out.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, now this stuff matters a lot less now.
Yeah.
But certainly at the time, it's like this is a folk festival.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what poor Pete Seeger was thinking. He was like, well, we play folk music at this festival.
What the fuck
I know that you think you're doing a thing, but this is a folk music festival.
Dude.
We invited you here to play folk music.
Because
if you played jazz, we would be like, we probably wouldn't boo you, but we'd be like, you're at the wrong festival.
Oh, you're
this
supposed to go to
isn't a jazz festival.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The jazz festival was actually across the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry about that. Oh,
yeah, it's a segregated jazz festival.
And they cut over to the jazz fest, and everyone's like, "What the hell? Everybody, hey, what's going on?"
He's over there.
Yeah.
The fuck is this shit?
Or it's a rock festival, and they're playing the music, and all these people are holding rocks. Like, what the fuck? This is we're celebrating rocks.
And they start throwing it at him.
Yeah, keep playing.
This isn't rock.
This is
rock music.
I mean, that would have been an interesting scene too. We can't deny it.
It might be real. It might have really happened.
You never know. I did like when Pete Seeger, I believe, he goes to grab the axe to cut the cords on the track, and his wife's just like, "What are you doing? This sucks, but we just gotta suck it up."
She's right. It would be a stupid thing.
I get everyone's side of it, but it's also just like, then don't, like, great, you have to express yourself, you got to do what you're doing at the time, but then just don't agree to do it. It's kind of, just don't go to it.
I mean, but one thing that I do like about the movie is that it just, like, pulls no punches. It's just kind of like, yeah, Bob Dylan was a complete dickhead. Everybody who met him loved him but hated him.
Yeah.
They're all like, wow, these are the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. And then they talk to him and he's like, stop talking to me.
I don't want to talk
famous.
to you. I hate you.
Yeah, I'm famous now.
Yeah. He wanted to be famous so bad and he got it. Yeah. And then he was like,
he got it.
I hate this, but I also
how
love
come
it.
everybody looks at me?
Just
because I'm famous.
It is interesting. I love the scene where he's like got that side the new girlfriend, and they leave the party in a hurry. And she's like, "But I love you," and he's like,
"Yeah,
we just met." That's great.
I don't even know you, lady.
Yeah, what the hell?
Where'd you come from? What's happening here? Where am I?
One scene with me.
This is literally your first scene with me, man.
That was a good moment.
It was a good moment. You know what was the best moment in my opinion?
What?
Edward Norton as Pete Seeger.
He did a good job.
I love Pete Seeger. Just he like as far as folk music dudes, he's my folk music guy. Mm-hmm. And I find him so beautiful. Like, he has such a grand sweetness.
Yeah.
That, like, when he's performing, you're just like, oh, wow, this is, like, sort of like a Mr. Rogers or a Bob Ross or, like, one of those guys who just seems so pure.
Yeah.
And I think Edward Norton plays that really well. Like, but he also doesn't seem like a moron. Like, I think it's very easy to be like that guy who's very sweet and nice and good and pure and seem like a fucking rube or something. And like, oh, this guy's had no concept of the world. But he seems like he has a concept of the world. He's just like trying to, make it a better place.
Exactly.
Be happy. And I think Edward Norton's really good at it.
Yeah, you can see it in his eyes. Just like he really believes. He's like trying so hard.
Come on. Hey,
We just want to play
there, Bob.
folk music. We just want to have a good time.
Hey there, Bob. There's no need to be mean.
And it was heartbreaking how much he loved Bob, but Bob was just like, well, I don't need you anymore. See you later. I was like,
Yeah, pretty
"Jeez."
great. Hey, I made your whole career and you wouldn't exist without me, right?
I don't care.
Wouldn't you mind just being even slightly nice to me?
Nope.
Wouldn't
not going to
that
happen.
be cool? What a dickweed. And I just loved Edward Norton. I loved the fact that he is an important part throughout. I love the fact that even though he is in some ways one of the villains of the end of the movie, he portrays it in such a way that you're like, well, I mean, I get it. He's pissed off. And not only was he mad, but everybody in the audience was mad.
Yeah, they were
He's like, you're ruining our show.
What if they?
Everybody hates you.
They should have done like two folks, one rock, and close with a folk. Just be like, hey, we're trying something new, just for fun.
Yeah.
But
also, they let Johnny Cash get away with an electric guitar and drums.
oh no,
Just play a little bit quieter.
yeah, it's a little.
That's all that matters.
They just want quiet music.
You know what else I liked?
What?
This movie? And this may be the last thing.
What?
Is this the last thing? I like Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, he
Bob
did
Dylan.
pretty good.
I thought another hard part to play because he's just like so often parodied or impersonated, and at first I was like, well, I'm just gonna be annoyed by the fact that he's doing a Bob Dylan impression, but it felt good enough.
Yeah, I thought after the beginning it kind of eased into it. First, it was kind of the Nosferatu effect, like
Yeah.
and then you go okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is me, Bob Dylan.
Come into my castle, sign a document, give me a place in your town.
Oops, you accidentally signed away your wife, who I space molested. I molested through my space master powers. What else is good about this movie? I've run out.
I like the scene where he's playing to old Woody, who's in the hospital, and this orderly comes in and he's like, nope, no music, shut it down. This guy's trying to rest, and then Bob's like, he's been resting for 6 months. I don't think it's working. I was like, that's pretty funny. I was like, that's good.
That's good.
Sometimes he's a fun curmudgeon, and other times he's just curmudgeon, and you're like, ugh.
Yes. Now this is a lame reason, but what the fuck is that? There's like one of those documentaries about him, one of those 1,000 documentaries about him, and it's like an early years documentary, and like one part of the documentary is like, Donovan, eat shit, Donovan. You're a worthless piece of shit, Donovan. I hate you. God. I mean, not exactly that, but he's essentially like they're all in a room together, and Joan's there, and Donovan's there, and he's like, wow, worst music ever, Donovan. You suck. I hate you. And I was always just like, what the fuck? What kind of shit is that?
Why do you got
right
me
over
mean
there,
to Donovan?
I love Donovan.
Yeah,
Don't say
what's
that to
going on?
Donovan. He's the fucking hurdy-gurdy man, bitch. So that I could never forgive him for it.
No, I don't blame you. I couldn't forgive him for being just like a lying, weird guy. Hey, why you leaving me? I love you. Why don't you want to stay here and watch me make music all the time? Like when he goes over to Jones and like they sleep together and he's just like doing music. She's like, I don't want to just watch you make music. I feel like I've been around people like that where I'm like, oh, you just want me to see you doing something. Like you don't really need me around. It's just, anyone
I mean, he would be great if he was born now.
Yeah.
He'd be perfect for a live stream.
TikTok, everything. Yeah. I mean, well, he'd probably be curmudgeonly about filming himself.
That's true.
I don't want to be shaking my butt on the TikTok.
How come I have to do all the dances?
Ugh, I'm sick of the dance.
A damn new dance every week.
The algorithm's not picking up my trend.
It's weird because when I think of the movie, I don't think of much. Like I remember that there were scenes.
There were scenes.
There's lots of performance scenes.
Lots.
It is like performance.
Like, whoa.
Then there's like a minute and a half of people talking, and then a performance. It's just like over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. There's the part where he has the little like buzzy kazoo.
Yeah, that was.
What is that thing? What the fuck is that thing?
Whatever that is.
What is that? Joy
train whistle.
Whistle. A train whistle's like.
Oh right. It was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Tweet at us at Food Court Cast. What is that thing called?
What is that thing?
I like when he finds it on the street and then he's trying to record it and he just keeps laughing. He's like, quit laughing. You're going to make me screw up. Let's get through this take before I start laughing.
That was good. I did like that. I hope there's a video somewhere of him in real life doing that. That would be great. Yeah. I would love to see that.
Is there other good stuff or can we start talking?
I like the train whistle. I like when he calls that one guy's something. Is it Al Cooper? He calls his shirt. He's like, "You look like a clown." And then like the next scene, he puts it on. Like, what? This is so really full of it.
Oh, good old Al Cooper.
He. I mean, he's an interesting figure for sure. And I do like some of the songs. Yeah, I'm like, okay, that is really well written and sweet.
They're nice, and I think especially this movie does a good job of featuring them. Yeah, like it's not very showy. It's just kind of here's a guy singing the song. That's basically it.
Yeah,
not much is happening, but he's singing the song.
Yeah,
and that's cool. It is like perfectly competent.
Yeah, it's
just the bullshit, really. Like, I can see unlike almost every other movie, I can see everybody's face, and I should consider that a blessing.
Yeah,
but the bullshit was so heavy.
Yeah,
that I was exhausted by it.
I will say I was very pleasantly surprised to see an old friend of ours make a cameo. Oh. I went, what? Yeah. I was like, are you serious here in this movie? But that was a fun moment. James, our old friend James from the Nashville comedy scene.
Yes, that's what he's known for.
Our old friend James. That's the main thing people think about.
People know him from our comedy scene, not from Saturday Night Live.
No, I don't think many people watch that, but it is cool to see him do stuff on there.
Yeah, James Austin Johnson, he's in it. He gets to introduce young Bob. Well, sort of. He gets to introduce Pete Seeger, who introduces young Bob.
Yeah,
which is funny. Another good bit because he just does a really good Bob Dylan impression.
Very
so it's
good.
funny to see him in the Bob Dylan movie.
I know. I almost wanted him to be doing... He had this old character he used to do on stage that was like a old folk musician, but like kind of would interrupt all his songs with stories. And I was like, oh, I wish they could have somehow put that in there.
He sneaks it in.
But anyway, that was just a nice surprise. I like that whole scene. I like seeing Joan play, and I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah. I haven't listened to like any of her music. I'm ashamed to say. Never heard of her.
It's pretty.
She should have been the main character because to me, completely unknown. I went, oh.
Yeah, she's good. I mean, Monica Barbaro?
Barbaro?
You gonna say Barbaro?
Barbaro. I think it's
Monica Barbaro plays Joan, and she's quite good. Mm-hmm. I will say most of the acting is good. Sylvie Russo is played by Elle Fanning, who plays kind of the really thankless role of being Bob's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she just like simply gets to be sad in rooms around him, or sometimes outside.
Man, when she sat outside, I was like, "Jeez, that sucks." Oof. Yeah, seeing the person you love play with someone that they're clearly like into is tough. Yeah. That's a tough one.
It happens to me all the time.
Every day.
Yeah. I just watch. Let's see, what's a good reference? I watch Lizzo play with. I can't think of who Lizzo plays with. Who does Lizzo play with?
I have no clue. Someone, I'm sure.
Katy Perry?
Sure, why not?
Did Lizzo effectively get canceled?
Well, she bounced back.
She uncanceling herself?
I think so. I think we've transitioned out of that into just like people are mad for a second, and then you're fine.
Whatever. Who cares?
You still make the tunes that make me go, woo, woo, yeah. Bless you. Sean is sneezing silently.
I was coughing.
Coughing. Sneezing or coughing.
Okay, I gotta talk shit.
Okay, yeah, let's transition.
I can't hold it in anymore.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
This is the worst thing, for me at least. As a person who knew what the ending was going to be almost instantly,
Yeah.
it felt like they wouldn't let it down. Like, there kept being so many different times when he's, like, right early in the beginning, he's talking to Pete, and Pete's like, hey, what do you think about music? And Bob's like, I like all kinds of music. I like, like music with, like, drums and guitars. Like, I feel like someday, maybe near the end of this movie, I might want to play something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, what? But folk music is just acoustic guitars. And then, like, every once in a while, electric things keep happening.
Yeah.
And then like, right before the end, he keeps going, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Am I going to do this? And I was just like, he does it.
Yeah, we all know.
I know he does it. There's no mystery.
Yeah.
He does it. It's like one of the big things from his career is him playing electric at that folk festival.
Yeah. I didn't know any of that. I knew a little bit that he eventually started doing like more electric rock stuff with people, and I kept waiting for the band to be introduced, but then I realized that was a bit later. But like literally every character, I'd be like, oh, is that supposed to be Robbie, or is that supposed to
the
be
band?
The band? I was like, what, the band? But it wasn't.
That's complete unknown too.
Yeah, complete unknown too. Somewhat, mostly known.
Yeah, very famous.
Very
playing with
famous
the
man.
I mean, I love the band. I would love to see that part of his life.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I was wondering, I was like, how are they gonna just end this like the end? He's still making music, but
Yeah, he's still making music.
They did the words
You know what
on
else?
the screen.
Maybe actually might be the worst part.
What?
I said it second. During every song, there is a slow push in.
Oh man, wow, yeah.
During every goddamn song,
You hit the nail on the head, Sean.
they do the slow push in. This is like a great thing to do sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
It really is a great thing because
is.
they are kind of dwarfed by the size of the frame, and they become
Yes.
more and more
Yes.
big, and they take up the frame, and wow, what does that represent? And that kind of shit. But just every time, James Mangold,
A little old.
you can't do it every time, and it can't still have any effect anymore.
You're totally right, and
It's
this
fucking stupid.
was my low main of the picture.
Oh wow!
I got very tired of every performance being him playing, and it's either still just sitting there watching him play, or that silly same push in, and then someone's looking in the corner like, wow. He's got it. It's like, okay, we know he's Bob Dylan. Like, sure, the first time do it, but it just got old. Like, there was like 7 scenes of someone just going,
Oh,
wow.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Is that the Bob Dylan
Is that him?
from Fame? They just keep pushing in.
It's too much.
It was just not. In general, it was like very workmanlike. But in like a pejorative way, like they didn't try to put anything in that was even slightly weird, or put a camera even in a slightly weird place.
No,
They didn't want to move it too high or too low. Just
keep
we're
it
looking at you,
right
and we're looking right at you.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
We might get beside you. Ooh. We might move the camera right beside you just to get a profile.
They're beside us. Yeah.
James, are you crazy? Are you going to move the camera next to their head?
Kooky nutty.
You're fucking nuts.
This guy's out of control.
Yeah.
It did feel very basic and
Yes.
plain.
And I know I say this every time we watch a music biopic, but this movie can't exist with Walk Hard existing.
Yeah.
Once they made Walk Hard,
Yeah.
and they so effectively like destroyed all of the tropes of this genre of movie, then you can't just make a basic music biopic without it seeming fucking stupid.
Yeah, it just seems so dumb at this point.
Because it's just like, I mean, at least they didn't have like a him smoking weed, but
I was waiting on that. Yeah,
far off.
I
and
was
the fact
waiting.
that like they do numerous scenes where instantly they play that famous song.
Yeah.
The worst one for me is like Al Cooper shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'm a guitarist. I would love to play guitar."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What? We've already got a guitarist. He's the most famous guitarist." And they're like, "Oh, man, but I'll just play anything.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have an extra instrument just sitting around?" And they're like, "I don't know. I've never met you before, but go play that organ."
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like every part of a song matters.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, get on out there." And he goes out, and he's like, "Oh, what a, And the bassist is like, "It's C." And he's like, "Oh, thank goodness.
See, yeah, now
All
I
the
know.
white keys are C.
Yeah.
Perfect." And
Oh
they're
my
like, 3, 2, 1, and it blasts off, and he just, wee, and he like plays that famous thing from like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is fucking stupid.
I'm not buying
This
it.
is not how it happens.
No, that is exactly how I felt in that Queen movie. He's just like
Yes.
sitting there and he's like, "I'm gonna have myself a good time." I was like, "What? This is insane." That one was, I will say, I maybe was more entertained by that one. I still thought it was a bad movie, but
Yes.
it was just goofy. Like I was just like, this is so over
Yes.
the top silly, especially with the two big teeth.
Man, the two big teeth. I think the worst one. Did you see the NWA one?
I did not see
The
it.
Straight Outta Compton? It's now. I think in some ways that's a much better movie than most of these because it's actually about like a group that I knew less about. Maybe that's part of it is that I just didn't like. I've listened to their music, but I didn't know anything about them. Being kids or meeting or doing stuff like that. But there's one scene where Dr. Dre's
Dr. Drees.
is out of NWA. He's going solo.
Oh wow!
And he's like he's got a beat. He's like, "Wow, this is great. This is such a great beat." And like he's at the bottom of a huge staircase recording or something. Who knows why? And Snoop Dogg like walks down the staircase. And he starts like instantly rapping. He's like 1, 2, 3 to the 4, and then Dr. Dre instantly starts playing the.
You have
This
to.
is fucking stupid.
You gotta show them developing. Like, I wish they. Okay, to that Queen movie's credit, they did have a couple scenes where they actually messed around with music.
Yes.
But yeah, this movie, A Complete Unknown, did not do that ever. Like, it was just like instantly classic. Boom. Instant boom. Boom. It was like, wait, what?
They didn't even. I don't think. Did they do a second take of any song?
No.
They're just like, perfect.
Oh, except the one time where he's playing the classics and they're like, nope, take it again.
Oh yeah, that's
first
true.
time,
Well,
yeah,
he was
but-
young. He could only do it on the second take back then.
Yeah.
He had to wait until he's a little
Had to be
older to write and record the music at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, this is gonna be in C. Everybody follow me. Watch out for the changes.
Yeah.
And he's like, like it running.
Yes,
Like, oh yeah, I know this song.
Oh yeah, dee-dee-lee-lee. Yeah, that was like, I was like, okay, this is a nice song, but you wouldn't have done it like that immediately.
It's like so far outside of the realm of belief.
Yeah.
Like I'm so good at like I don't have any disbelief in a movie.
No, yeah.
Like if a man's hand grows 3 sizes and he smashes someone, I totally believe that.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
If a man can fly through the air, like a man can fly, literally fly. If there's a Superman who can fly through the air and stop bullets, I believe that.
I'm like, yeah, sure.
But just like some guy, like Superman, if Superman was in the room, he wouldn't have played the organ part perfectly on the first try.
His fingers would have destroyed the organ instantly. Whoops.
Oh, oops.
My bad. Don't worry about it. We'll get our assistant Clark Kent to take care of that. And he's like, I'll be right back. Hey, guys. That would be so dumb. But it would be a more interesting movie.
And more believable.
Yeah, somehow.
Than Al Cooper.
It was a bit much.
It just was so stupid. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is I just don't have any interest in movies like this. I just don't. Like, I didn't see the Elton John one. I couldn't bring myself to do it. It's
like the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's at the very least, it's like Elton John had some sort of downfall, and there was like some sort of dramatic movement.
Exactly.
Whereas this one was just like, he's getting famous. Oh, he's famous.
I think that's the main issue. Is just like it doesn't cover enough time to be that interesting. Like with like there was the other Bob Dylan movie where all the actors play him. I forget what it's called. Mm-hmm. That one was at least
called No Direction Home, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right?
I don't know, but at least you see all these different parts of his life. So it's like,
yes.
Oh, this is okay. There's some struggle here. Oh, he's in this weird Christian music phase. Like that was more interesting. Yeah. But this one's just like, here's this little gap. Okay.
Yeah.
He became famous, so there's no real conflict.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Hey, here is him slowly becoming the most famous musical artist. Basically one of the most famous musical artists of all time. And he just gets slowly more famous, and that's it.
That's it.
That's what happens. He's mean to his girlfriends.
The whole time. That's it.
And so there's no change in that.
Nope. He's just a kind of rough guy.
You don't really get to know them, so it's not like you also get some kind of other story from them or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, they're pretty, aren't they?
Yeah,
don't they look sad?
True. And they're only existing in relation to him. Like there's just, it is odd.
Even Joan Baez, who was like more famous than him, like kind of when he first started, was much more famous than him.
Yeah,
obviously because she was already an artist, but she sort of only exists in relationship to him too. She's like a person to be jumped over,
exactly,
and outperformed. And to then piss off.
Yeah, really piss off.
Yeah.
Man, he done did it.
You're kind of an asshole, Bob. You're kind of an asshole, Bob.
Bob. Yeah, the scene where like the war stuff's going down and she's like, happens upon him playing that too is just kind of like, this is a little hokey. Like, I'm in New York and I just somehow stumble on the exact place here. Maybe that is what happened, but
I guess it's maybe one street where most of the folk things were.
Yeah.
And maybe it happened that way. But honestly, that scene was one of my most favorite parts because it had something different.
True.
They're dealing with the Cuban Missile Crisis, so there's some drama there. And also, my concept of the Cuban Missile Crisis is based on nothing. Like, I have read about it, and I don't have any concept of what it was like actually. So, like, seeing people in their real lives being like, oh, well, I just better get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I gotta go.
It's like, so I didn't know that was a thing that happened. I didn't know that New York was a ghost town. Now, who knows if it was? But it was effective enough in the movie. I will say effective enough.
I know that Bob Dylan,
as good as it gets.
He was so captivating that no one cared that they were all about to be blown up. They're like, yeah,
it's true.
It is like that, Bob.
Oh.
All right, see y'all later.
They're doing war.
War's bad. Yeah, he really, you're right, man.
He is right.
Yeah,
It is bad.
Hey, I don't want to
I
work
have a
on
lot of
Maggie's
pandas,
farm no
but
more.
is there other stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
there is, but I don't.
Tell me what the worst part.
You know what? I did kind of like the scene where he shows up to Pete Seeger's TV show, and they've got the blues player. That part was kind of nice because he was like, okay, he cared enough to at least try to get there, and then played with the guy. I was like, that's nice, but
yeah.
I liked the blues player a lot. She was fun.
Yeah, he was really funny.
And that did make me laugh a lot. The drinking and he cussing on the show. I was like, this is amazing.
They're drinking something weird. They're drinking like peach schnapps or something, right?
Yeah, that was funny.
Sounds good.
Oh, this is a family show. I don't want any of that.
Oh, well, sorry there, Bob, but that's pretty... well, I guess so. Well, you guys just have fun.
Oh, I liked how insane Johnny Cash was when he he kept hitting those cars. That was fun.
I forgot about that scene, and it's probably one of the failings of the movie that it all disappeared into a fog.
Yeah.
I saw it 2 days ago, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess weren't there entertaining parts in it somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere.
Now it is interesting because I watched it and I wasn't feeling bored at any time. It was interesting enough that I wasn't bored. It was just I was not incensed. I was just
yeah.
I just kind of made a yucky noise a lot.
I think it went on a little too long for me.
Yes.
And it just was doing too much of the same stuff.
Yes.
And that gets old. I had the same thing with that David Bowie Moon Age Daydream, which was a documentary. But I was just, by the end, I was like, I am so sick of this person. I don't care anymore.
Cares?
Fucking shut up about your. Oh, yeah. I just went out and did it. It was like, okay, great, cool, sounds good.
It was so easy for me to get famous,
and now I'm famous. Yes, it's just it comes through me, and you just gotta do it. All right, cool, dude. Great.
Yes, I got famous, and then I stayed famous until I died of cancer.
Yeah, the end.
Exit.
Exit.
I mean, hey, great.
Good work.
I'm done talking about this fucking movie.
Me too. I am over it.
I'm excited to forget about it.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was perfectly fine. If someone was like, hey, do you want to watch that movie? I'd go, I don't know. I guess so. But I wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't be like, you should watch this.
No, I asked my roommate and good music friend. He said it was silly. I was like, yeah.
Yes, definitely silly.
This is a silly movie.
I mean, insulting for music people.
Yeah.
Because it, certainly, sort of insulting to him as a musician.
Yeah.
Because, certainly it wasn't that easy, right?
Yeah, couldn't have been.
There must have been some harder. He does spend a year or two, trying to get famous.
Yeah.
But he's, playing shows. He has plenty of money to eat. He's doing great.
Yeah, it didn't seem
even
like
when
he was
he's not
struggling
famous.
At any point.
Did he ever struggle even one moment in his whole goddamn life? Why would I want to see a story about this guy who everything great happened to?
Yeah, it's this isn't. And sometimes
it's depressing to me.
I am inspired when there's some ad, they're struggling for a long time and then they break through. But if it's just I instantly met this dude and then everything was kind of up from there.
Yeah, just kept getting good.
Cool.
Yeah, everything's great.
That's that.
Oh, but Bob, you were mean to your girlfriends. Oh, well, yeah, I guess that does make me a little bit sad until I meet my other girlfriend.
Yeah, until I get some more.
Stupid. I hate him.
I hate him. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm really
Fuck you,
not.
Bob Dylan. If you're listening, Bob Dylan, eat shit. I don't mean that.
That's great.
Okay, let's talk about the other movies we watched this week, which brings us to a little segment we like to call Pan Express Presents. Express yourself about the movies you watched this week. Play the theme song, please.
Ding, 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 ding. It's time for the Pan Express. Cause we got some things to express about the things we watched this week. Thanks, Bob. You're welcome. All right. See you later.
Hey, no problem.
I'm just going to go back to I'm going to go write my next hit right now, immediately. All right.
I'm gonna write. You know what? I'm gonna write other people's hits.
Oh. All right.
She loves you. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. She loves you. Yeah. I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't missing. No, Bob, no.
Bob, you can't say that, Bob. I don't think you should say that. What? I want to say it. It's from my heart.
I wrote this song. It means a lot to me.
It means a lot. Now, some of you ain't gonna like the language in this. He's doing it at a folk festival. They're like,
he does only rap songs. There's another song I wrote. It's by the old dirty bastard, but I wrote it for him. It's called "Shame on a." No, Bob.
Bob.
No.
That would have been
great,
incredible.
Though.
Much
Certainly
better.
in AI, someone could do that.
Yeah, surely.
Entire concert of him doing. Eh.
I just saw an AI where someone took the conversation. It's like Barbie and the old lady, and then a semi runs through both of them on the benches. And I was like, that is wild. People are just really creative with these prompts.
They are creative, aren't they? Hey, I watched movies this week. Did you watch any movies this week?
I watched 2 movies.
I watched 2 movies too. This is perfect. I watched a really weird movie. I've been looking for inspiration because I've been trying to think, how can I make a movie by myself?
Yes.
With no help from anybody. And I watched this movie called Daniel Holtzman's Diary.
Oh.
Which is not actually made by a person all by himself, but sort of is. It's like this guy who's really into his movie camera, and he's like doing a diary, and he like films his girlfriend, and his girlfriend doesn't like it, and he like films people on the street. And he also has some voyeuristic tendencies, and he's like filming this woman who lives across the way. And it's kind of vaguely creepy and weird. And it's cool. Like early 60s, just kind of like a freaky guy being freaky.
Freaky.
You kind of find him deeply unsettling, but you kind of understand him. And it's just cool. Just a cool little flick.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd never heard of it.
Check it out. Hey,
I will.
I hadn't until I did. And now
You have.
I give it to you.
Thank you. And the listeners, you're being very giving right now. It's pretty cool.
Here.
Here, take it.
Here.
I am sad to say I did in fact revisit Dracula Dead and Loving It. And
See, you want to do an episode about that one?
No, I don't. I was so bummed. I was like, as a kid, I remember laughing my butt off. And now, through an adult lens,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite work. And it's not very good. And I was like, man, Mel, you just kind of... I think it kind of... You know what happened with like Adam Sandler? Like eventually...
Yeah.
I think that was the era of Mel where he was like, I'm just going to hang out with my friends and like make stuff and do stuff and whatever. And it was just very like, oh, this isn't quite working. Yeah. Great sets and like cool matte paintings and stuff, but it just, it's not.
I don't remember it at all. I remember that it exists.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
There's some really missed like the way the gags are played out sometimes just don't work. Like Dracula's standing there, he like welcomes Renfield to his castle, and the bats are like pooping everywhere, and he's like, they make quite a mess. But then the next scene is immediately him slipping on it. They don't even show him move. He just like instantly slips on it, and you're like, this timing is like so fucked up.
He should take a step further.
Yeah, he just instantly is flying. I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. There's some stuff I liked, but I made it about 30 minutes in. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Just don't work.
Sometimes you gotta bail.
Yeah, I bailed.
You can't always make it all the way through.
No, I bailed.
You gotta bail.
I bailed hard.
Now, I've sat through movies I shouldn't have, but...
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that isn't even on my list, but I did see Sonic 3.
Oh, wow.
Not the best Sonic, I'll be honest.
Really?
Not the best one. It wasn't a nightmare, but it was a lot less fun than the other two, which were kind of pretty small stories about like Sonic hanging out with his human friends.
Yeah.
And saving the day. And this one is like full on like he must do Marvel stuff.
Oh gosh.
It's like, oh God. Just can't the poison. Can't they keep the poison inside of their own syringe? Does it have to poison even like dumb family movies? Do they also have to be Marvel movies too?
It is very exhausting.
Strangely, Keanu, like he does in almost every movie, plays someone who has lost a woman who is important to him, which is like so sad if you know that he, of course, like lost his wife at some point, and he just like keeps playing characters where he has lost a wife or daughter or dog.
It is
it's
so
just like,
odd.
You gotta stop putting yourself through this, Keanu.
Yeah, no
especially
more.
for Sonic 3. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's really, if anyone is exercising their demons, that guy is absolutely exercising them over and over.
Yeah, get him out.
Brutal.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to pick Sonic back up. It just couldn't.
Smart.
It didn't hook me. Didn't
That's
quite
smart.
hook me.
Hey,
Hey,
you won't miss out on Sonic 3 because it's not very good.
Now Sonic 4.
I mean,
Maybe.
Believe it or not, I'll probably see it.
So they left it open for
Always. There's always the possibility of a sequel.
Hey, you gotta leave it open.
In this one, even Jim Carrey was kind of rough in them.
No.
He's always kind of rough in them, but he was
dang.
kind of especially kind of rough in this.
Yeah.
There was one moment where they did a dance. There's like Jim Carrey's playing two different he's playing like a Robotnik and a Grandpa Robotnik.
Okay, gotcha.
And they do like a laser dance, and it was like better. It was like a better musical number than anything in Wicked. But other than that, and that's not saying much, just because they actually just showed them dancing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the music wasn't any better, but just
Exactly.
the fact that you could see them dance the dances.
Yeah,
was like,
it's
wow.
nice.
They just had a camera and they put it in front of the dancing. Who knew?
And I'm sure they didn't backlight it with really weird
Jesus
lighting.
Christ. They did not.
No, which I did. I did take my girlfriend to the sing along of Wicked, which was
was
pretty
that?
fun. Hey, that was a pretty fun experience. There was barely anyone in there, which was helpful, I think. And because it's kind of the tail end of Wicked time.
Yeah.
And there were a few people who were determined to try and ruin it, where they just kept talking. And they're like, sorry, y'all. Oh, no. And they'd make a joke and they'd be like, oh, no, sorry, guys. So it's like, why are you just stop talking? You can sing it, but you don't have to talk. It was very weird. But we had a good time. And, she loves Wicked, so it was nice for her.
It tries its best. Well, no, that's wrong. The show itself tries its best to become a good movie.
Yes.
Just there's not many people ushering it towards that. But
the last 10 minutes, I'm like,
Ooh.
okay, if it could have all just been this.
Whoa.
I would have been locked in. But I enjoy it. I think that it could have improved. I've been seeing them post a lot of deleted scenes from it, and I was like, there was only one where I was like, oh, that kind of would have made this other scene make sense. But for the most, I was like, yeah, this is already long. We don't need any more of this stuff.
My God,
Yeah.
so long.
It's a bit long.
Did you watch anything else?
Shrek 2, but that's, sometimes you got to put on Shrek 2 just to have a good time.
Are you a big Shrek 2 guy?
Shrek 2 is one of my favorites. I love it.
I haven't watched that movie in so long.
It's good. It hits all the notes, and it's a nice story. The climax is so exciting. You're like, ah! It's good. I was screaming. And Puss in Boots is introduced. I mean, how?
Love Puss in Boots.
And one of my favorite moments, Princess
You're a pussy.
Fiona. She's been retransformed back into a human because of this potion that Shrek has taken. And she runs down looking for Shrek. And on the back of Donkey is Puss in Boots licking himself clean from his crotch. And she goes, Shrek? And he says, for you, baby, I could be. And I love that line. I went, wow, that's pretty good.
I mean, that's how you turn on the charm.
That's how you do it. I learned a lot.
I watched one final movie.
What?
Maybe. I watched a picture by Andrew Davis, who you may know from Under Siege.
Okay.
And The Fugitive.
Yes.
And he did a movie called The Package.
Ooh.
Starring, who's in it? Oh, Tommy Lee Jones is in it.
Oh, nice.
And Gene Hackman. The big one.
Damn.
They're both in it. And Hackman plays like this military officer who gets caught up in this like strange spy scheme. And he's got to try to get out of it. And someone's going to try to do an assassination. And he's got to try to figure out who and where. Okay. But he's also on the run from the law. And it's pretty good.
Okay.
Now, it's one of those movies where it's like, okay, this is clearly him trying out all the beats that would become The Fugitive in like 2 years. Like, it's in Chicago. There's like a parade at one point. There's all sorts of stuff. I think the ending happens in the same hotel as the ending of The Fugitive.
Oh, wow.
Like lots of things that are very similar. Like, some of the actors are the same. It's just, him like kind of trying it on for size and seeing if he can do it. And so it's like, it's difficult when you watch a movie like The Fugitive, which you cannot believe exists. It's like so perfect in every way, and you're like, "Wow, I've never enjoyed myself as much as I am watching this movie with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford both being as good as they ever were, and just an amazing movie." And so, like when you watch any other movie, and you're like, "Well, I love The Fugitive. I should watch one of the other movies." It's not going to be as good as that movie.
It can't.
But it's still a pretty fun time if you're looking for like fugitive feel, like this, the same atmosphere, the same kind of thing. It's not quite as fun, but it is pretty cool.
Okay,
That's all I'm gonna say.
Never heard of it, but I will check it out.
The Package. In theaters now.
What are we gonna watch next week?
Hey, tweet at us at Food Court Cast. Let us know what you want us to watch.
I got no clue.
Maybe The Damned.
Oh, yeah, that looked interesting. Could be good.
But I think also, I feel like the new Den of Thieves comes out, and also something else cool comes out this week. Oh, I think maybe Monkey Dancer comes out this week.
I did see. For this week, if you get a ticket to Better Man on Regal, you get 1,000 extra credits.
Yes.
They're really like... Come on, go see this.
Don't mind if I
weird
do.
Movie. It looks so bizarre, and I still don't know who the guy that it's about is, but...
Interesting.
I've never heard of this guy.
I think if you listened to his number one hit, you might know it. But
What
other
is
than
it?
that, he wasn't nearly as big here as he was in England.
See, I think that's the trick. I wasn't in England.
But I'll tell you this. Unlike A Complete Unknown, you will new things will happen to you in this movie that you didn't know happened.
There'll be a CG monkey dancing around.
Yes, at the
Like,
very
whoa.
least.
Yeah.
At the very least, they were like, you know what? These movies suck.
Yeah.
They're fucking awful.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, fucking CGI monkey.
Maybe.
And they're like, okay, sounds good.
Yeah. That's good to me.
Sounds great. Let's get a fucking CGI monkey.
Yeah.
I mean,
people, I was so out of the loop. I was like, are people making is this a fictional musician? Robbie, I know Robin Williams, but Robbie? This doesn't make
what
any
if
sense.
it was Robin Williams? R.I.P. Even though I didn't like him at all. R.I.P. Rest in peace, you horribly annoying man. Just unbearable man. Rest in peace.
I love it. I feel like you're one of the few people I've ever heard that take from. I love it. That's great.
Yeah. Hey,
Not everybody can love
Not
it.
everybody can like everybody.
It's very true.
Except us.
Yeah.
You can like us. You can subscribe to us. You can favorite us. You can tweet at us at Food Court Cast. You can subscribe. You can give us 5 stars. You can write us a wonderful review. That's all the thing. That's probably all the things you can do.
Please
maybe hit a
do.
star.
Star it.
Hit a star or
Follow
a heart.
me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mampy Hikes.
Follow him on twitch.tv/Mampy Hikes.
Come on over.
And on behalf of him, Mampy Hikes, I'm Sean Parrott, saying to all you folks out there, bon appetit.